Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Pip Surfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today's Thursday, January 8th, 2009, and I hope you all had a great trading day. We have a lot to get into, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'll start off by addressing some of the comments from yesterday's post. First one's from Eagle Mike, and he just basically wants to know he doesn't like to risk more than 1 to 2% on any trade, and since the stops on the system can be large or small compared to the target, I'm struggling to come up with money management that makes sense. Zero off the trader actually posts a comment and response for you, and that should help you out. Also, I would recommend if you can find a broker that will allow you to adjust your actual position size and not just your lot size, that might help you out too, because then you can actually choose the amount of risk you are going to take. So that might help. I know sometimes when you just get stuck with the micro lots or the mini lots, you're kind of subjected to just whatever the lot amount is worth. But if you're able to control your actual position, it gives you a lot more flexibility in how much you can risk. And there are a few brokers that can do that, but I don't want to basically give out any recommendations for brokers just so I can remain unbiased, but do some research, ask in the forums. There are brokers that will allow you to do this, and some of them are very popular. So good comment, good question, and appreciate you, Zero, for helping Eagle Mike out. So the next one's from Rosenberg, wants to, again, this is another question regarding the reward to risk ratio. The second trade was basically a huge risk to a little reward. Again, Rosenberg, that's a great question, great concern, and I'm glad you noticed it. For those of you who follow the blog, you probably are tired of me saying this, but it's a good thing to point out, and that is because even though there is a high risk to the actual reward, because this system wins a high percentage of the times, it balances out and it still ends up profitable in the long run. Now, if the system was winning under 50%, then we would have to take into account the reward to risk ratio, and we would have to be risking a lot less than what our potential reward would be. So I hope that kind of answers the question. Again, if it's still unclear, ask in the forums. I'm sure people will help you understand better, but that's the whole reason for that. Dehannon actually has a very good comment. It's very long, but so I'll sum it up. But he basically wants to know if it bothers me when I see all the pips lost when only one indicator is off, and even though I might have thought it was a good trade. Yeah, definitely. I could say it bothered me more when I first started trading the system because, again, you know, anytime you try to go to something purely mechanical, our intelligence side gets in the way, and not having complete trust in a system will cause you to think like that. And the only reason I can say that I don't get bothered by it so much now is because I've traded the system long enough to have complete confidence in it, and again, for the long haul, I know that statistically I should come out on top. So I put more of my faith in that, and if I miss those pips, of course it you know, irks me, but I don't get too worked up about it because, again, there's more trades to be won, and the system will get me ahead in the long run. So the more confidence you have in the system, the easier it gets to take the emotion part out of it. But great comment, and good look at the psychology, I guess. So that was good. Mark wants to know similar than from the comment above, but this is regarding news announcements, and just wants to know basically how if a trade can be subjective, whether or not you see a signal but maybe you don't have the right feel about it. And he wants to know because he saw 2 clear signals today, and we'll get into it later, and then he didn't take it because he didn't think the market looked good, and then the market finally took off in favor of his what would have been trades after the interest rate statement. So we'll get into that, Mark, and hopefully your question will be answered in the post. But I'll show you. I actually saw those potential signals, but they actually were not signals. So I'll show you how that happened. But since we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the news events for the day. And you can just click on the Tools tab. And again, we had the official bank rate at 7, and the initial claims at 8:30. So those were really the only 2 events to watch out for, and that was at 7 and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, let's look at our trend. This is the 4-hour chart. Our trend change candle was on January 1st for an uptrend, and since then you can see that there has been no new trend change candles, but rather we just had these little retracements and then bounces back up, and you can see that the 10 EMA is actually acting as good support right now. So no new trend changes, only looking for long trades. And now we'll go to the 15-minute chart, and I'll move it back to just before midnight. You can see that at 11:45 there was a crossover here. Now it's not a valid signal because MACD was already positive, but even if it was, I wouldn't take it because you want to wait until 12 a.m. and that's me. I mean, so there will be some trades that will work out in your favor if you take them before midnight, but I found that you have a better probability of winning if you take trades only after midnight. So I wouldn't enter this even if it was a valid entry. But now we'll just continue to move on. Remember, we're only looking for long trades. Okay, we get a crossover right here. This is at 1:30 a.m. We have RSI above 50, stochastics trending up. But if you look at MACD, it was already positive from the candle before, so this makes it an invalid signal, so you would not enter here. Okay, so we just brush that aside and continue to watch the market. Here we get another crossover. RSI is above 50, stochastics trending up, and if I zoom this MACD, you'll see that the candle before it was already positive. So again, this cancels out the signal and you would not enter, so no entry here either. Okay, now we'll continue to watch the market. Another crossover. This one's at 5:45. We have RSI above 50, however stochastics is still trending down. There's no cross there, and MACD again is positive from the candle before, so this makes this another invalid entry. So no signal, no entry there. So still out of the market, and I think some of these potential signals, Mark, you might have thought those were signals, but because of MACD and in this last case also with stochastics, they are invalid signals and you would not enter. Okay, and then so now here's the 7 a.m. candle. We have the bank rate, and you can just see the market shooting up, and that's probably what you saw. So it's a good thing you didn't enter just because of the feeling you had. It was kind of flat, but again, the indicators also helped us stay out. So a bit of the subjective but also the mechanical part helped us stay out of those trades, and that's why I mean in regards to the one of the other questions was, you know, even if one indicator doesn't line up, you know, sometimes wouldn't you just want to take the trade? Well, this is a case where one indicator didn't line up and you would have lost on the trade. So yeah, there will be times when an indicator, just one indicator may not line up and you miss out on hundreds of pips, but then there will be a lot of times where one indicator won't line up and you'll lose out on much more. And that's the whole reason why we have these indicators, to help filter out. And sometimes, you know, there's a balance. You have a filter, but then at the same time, sometimes it filters you out of some good trades. But more often than not, they will keep you out of the bad ones. So I hope that helps. This is a very good, I think, productive blog video session, and great comments, great questions. Keep them coming. Hopefully I'm answering them okay, and I'll try to keep helping you along with your trading. So until then, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next update. Cowabunga, dudes.